starts now.
All right, good Monday morning. It is great to have you with us on our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley.
I'm Cerise Coleman with meteorologist Jared Lansford, senior chief meteorologist Rusty Lord. We're off to a beautiful start to the day, beautiful sunrise. Embrace that sunshine, right?
Yeah, temperatures are all going to look similar to yesterday, but we're going to do that with more clouds, rain chances, and some wind compared to yesterday. So let me show you the details how it's looking. Beautiful view out across the city right now as we look off towards the east, but the clouds are moving in from the west and southwest, so it looks pretty good in this direction. We'll see more clouds roll in over the course of the morning. 42 degrees with increasing clouds right now. That's the story for your morning, and then eventually those will bring us some showers today. So 30s and 40s on the map. Nothing too wild, but a little colder. Tacoma down to 31 this morning as you're getting up and getting rolling. Southeast wind about 5 to 15 miles per hour. That will pick up. You'll notice gusts 25 to 30 a good chunk of the day today, even into the evening hours, still persisting towards 8, 9 o'clock at night before they relax some and flip directions by early tomorrow morning. So first alert to that. Some higher clouds off to the north. Look at the thicker clouds down here. Southwest of Lincoln. Those will fill in. Those are the low clouds to start, and I just think we're going to have more and more of these as we go through the course of the morning, and you can see how those look by about 9 o'clock. The low clouds that build in just keep streaming north, and you can see eventually these little specks of green, that's drizzle or a couple of light showers. Nothing all that heavy, but there's going to be some on the map with the clouds and temperatures in the 50s. So this afternoon, a little damp at times. This isn't heavy rain by any means. And you can see by 5 o'clock, still some of those on the map. Watch to the west. We get a high of about 55 today, and then those numbers start to back off. There could be a couple of thunder showers develop after 6, 7 o'clock. Nothing severe, but just enough where we could get a little thunder and lightning here in November. And when temperatures are in the 70s and 80s during a summer thunderstorm, hail tends to melt. When you get some of that small hail from these when it's 40s and 50s, a lot more of that can reach the ground before it has the opportunity to melt. So we could have a little bit of that moving through this evening. Watch for that by 1, 2 o'clock. Those are moving out to the northeast, and a couple more showers drift in here for Tuesday morning. Gonna have a couple around by 7 o'clock. You can see most are on the Iowa side by 7 a.m. and moving east. So average high. This is the last day for the year where our average high is 50 degrees. We'll be near that tomorrow and then try to get up near 60 by Wednesday and Thursday, and trending a little cooler as we head into Friday. So yeah, average highs just keep dropping. 70s are a lot tougher to come by now, but we could have a couple of 60s mixed in there.
All right, kind of depending on their schedules, this first weekend before Thanksgiving, some people could be traveling home from college, from school, from wherever. So I think some people already want to be paying attention to that forecast.
Happy to say this weekend's looking pretty good. So anybody who's got the whole next week off next week, you got some good weather leading into it anyway. There is one rain chance between now and then. That was the stuff we have moving through today. Watch as we head towards Friday. You want to keep an eye on this system here. Best odds are probably going to be in our southern counties, but travel by Friday down through Kansas City along I-70 towards St. Louis, and then eventually over towards central Indiana and Ohio by Friday. Could get a little soggy, but right now that all stays rain. It would impact our southern counties, probably south of I-80. Best chance of rain on Friday. Then there's your Saturday and there's your Sunday. A lot of sunshine, so should have some pretty good weather this upcoming weekend. A lot to look forward to there. And Thanksgiving doesn't quite show up on the 10-day just yet. We'll see that later on this afternoon when you're watching Jade and Emily. We can see some cooler numbers trying to show up there by the middle of next week. I'm going to talk about the longer-term pattern here in just a little bit because it's getting a little busier this week. I fear it gets a little too busy for some by the end of next week. Some activity trying to show up around that Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, no.
I know.
Of course there is activity around it. Why wouldn't it?
Make it easy.
All right, there's some activity going on around UNO's campus near Dodge. What's happening? Do we know?
Well, we're working on finding out.
Okay.
I could tell you it definitely looks slow as you're going westbound in that area, and we do have a photog that's on the way to check out and see exactly what the situation is. But here's what it looks like. It's right about the 66th area or so where you can see that there is this delay that's showing up on Dodge as you're heading through this stretch. So be ready for that if you head through there. Whatever is happening here, you want to be ready for something to slow you down a little bit as you head through that stretch. And of course, we'll keep you posted as we get some more information on what exactly is happening in that area. A couple of other spots have had some occasional delays this morning. Looking better right now, though, on the JFK to head up westbound I-80. 680. Checking up around Blair High near 680. Does look a little slow heading eastbound still, so be ready for that. Further to the south, we go toward 90th and Maple. Just about every direction is pretty slow with that one. A little slow westbound on Blondo approaching 90th as well. A lot of that's just busy roads that we're looking at, a lot of traffic. Looking a lot better at 680 and Dodge. This was already getting pretty slow as you're going on that ramp to go from northbound 680 to head to westbound Dodge. So that's improved. Don't be surprised though if it does slow down again as the morning goes on. And then, of course, we've been looking at some other spots where we've had some issues. 10th Street, by the way, is reopened, Capitol to Dodge. That's in a spot where we've had things be an issue for us with that road being closed. So some improvement there. 72nd has not reopened. That is still closed right around L. So you're going to need to use 84th, use 96th, 60th. There's some northbound options. You can see it's pretty slow on L as well. You can get through on L near 72nd, but you have head-to-head traffic via the entrance and exit ramps that were around where that bridge was. Hopefully I can give you a view of what that area looks like here in just a bit, but know that if you are using L, it's already slow at this point. So I-80 is a good alternate route to avoid what's going on with that construction scene. And again, we'll check in on 72nd. We've got a lot happening with construction updates, good and bad. So we'll let you know more in just a little bit.
All right, Jared, thank you very much. In the meantime, back to news. Omaha police are investigating a deadly hit and run on your screen. The scene near 26th and Douglas early Sunday morning. Witnesses tell police a 29-year-old man was walking in the middle of the street. Two cars avoided hitting him, but a truck did not, and the driver did not stop. The man died at the hospital. Investigators found the truck but are still on the hunt for that driver. If you know anything about this, OPD wants to hear from you. Well, a person is hurt after a weekend disturbance.
That's right. Police on scene tell us what was initially called in as a fight was upgraded to a shooting victim call. Douglas County officials say one person went to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. They could not confirm whether that person was shot. We'll let you know as soon as we get an update on their condition. And some scary moments for members of an Iowa high school basketball team. Their bus was involved in a crash. A bus carrying the Remsen St. Mary's girls basketball team was involved in a crash on Highway 75 just north of Sioux City. Authorities say the bus driver was trying to turn onto the highway when it collided with a Jeep. Multiple people were taken to the hospital. Investigators haven't given specifics on who was hurt as well as the extent of their injuries.
All right, Cerise, thank you. Now over here at the safety desk, joined by Maria Cade. Maria, you have some good reminders as we head out on the roadways.
Yeah, something that we see a lot, but we don't really want to run into deer.
No.
They are out. According to the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, deer can be seen in the roadways any time of the year. But experts say the most common time that they're active is during the early mornings as well as around sunset. So if you're driving and you come across one, you shouldn't swerve to prevent from hitting it. You could hit somebody else or another car. Experts say it's actually best to hit the deer straight on. One Hastings insurance agent says if you do hit a deer, it's actually really not your fault. Now, if you do see one, though, you should assume that there are multiple deer as well.
Okay, Maria Cade, thank you for the information. All right, we're back after this.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Taking a live look outside. You can see the sun rise. As Rusty said, enjoy this and enjoy the dry conditions for now, because we could get some rain later today. So be sure and grab that umbrella just in case.
Yeah, just in case. It's not going to be anything heavy, but you know, bad luck. You could get caught under a shower briefly and walk from the car to the store or whatever you're doing around lunch even. So first alert to that, some showers as the clouds increase today, but a beautiful view out across the area right now. We're tracking showers by the afternoon, could have some as early as the lunch hour, and then another round of some rain possible to end the week. Signs of some colder air by Thanksgiving. I'll talk more about that here very shortly. But you can see out there right now, we got a lot of 60s on the map, some 30s up to, or 60s on the map, 40s on the map. We got 30s up to the north and to the west as of right now. So a lot of 30s in our outlying areas. Haven't had a chance to cool off quite as much because the south wind is starting to kick up. So we'll have some gusts up near 30 miles per hour at times today. Those will be pesky, not damaging, but annoying. And if you're already got the Christmas decorations put up, you could have some of those blown around a little bit if they're not tied down. Now look at the thicker clouds down to the south here. Those are starting to stream in, and those will fill up the map over the course of the morning. By lunchtime, this is what the map may look like with some spotty sprinkles or some showers out there. By 5 o'clock, you can see some of those in our northern counties. Watch to the west here. There could be a couple of thunder showers move through. Yeah, a little lightning, a little thunder here in mid-November. It can happen, and I think we'll have a couple of those this evening that aren't all that strong. And then a pretty quiet night, maybe a couple of showers lingering by tomorrow morning. Wind won't be quite as strong tomorrow. Out of the north with some gusts up near 20 miles per hour. That should be about the extent of it, and those mostly during the morning. So that's why today, with the rain and the wind combo, pretty unpleasant if you put up the Christmas lights today, or maybe that's part of your business trying to get some of those installed. Tuesday and Wednesday are looking a lot better as far as that goes. Wednesday and Thursday, probably the best days of the 10-day forecast. You can see that here, 58 Wednesday and 59 on Thursday with partly to mostly cloudy skies. I'll let those two kind of duke it out for the best weather. But there's the Friday rain chances that I was talking about here to end the week. There could be some shower activity near and south of I-80. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we get closer to that towards the end of the week. Best odds right now, looks like that's probably going to be south of I-80 as that moves through.
All right, I think a lot of that Thanksgiving travel could be starting this upcoming weekend. Some people take the entire week off up to Thanksgiving. So how's it going to be looking for travelers?
Pay attention to Thanksgiving itself. I think Thanksgiving weekend as a whole, that's when things start to change up. Pretty quiet stuff, 50s and 40s leading up to Wednesday. Now, later on today, Thanksgiving will show up on the 10-day, and you can see the colder air getting bottled up to the north here. There's Thursday of Thanksgiving, pretty cold across Canada. This will drop south over the course of Thanksgiving weekend. The duration and the intensity of it still to be determined, but that is, I think, going to be some widespread cold air spreading across the country the end of next week, around the Thanksgiving weekend. And usually what happens with something like this, you need a storm system to kind of unlock it and drag it south. So we'll see. That could be something that impacts travel somewhere in the middle of the country over Thanksgiving weekend. A lot of things to be determined. One thing models have consistently shown, a dip in the temperatures around Thanksgiving weekend. So whether it's 2 days or maybe 4 days, we'll see as we get a little closer.
So tell Grandma and Grandpa to pack the sweaters if they're coming.
All the warm gear, be ready. There could easily be travel delays across the country.
Yeah. Here we go, folks. Here we go. All right, some big construction updates, specifically on L Street. Looks a lot different.
Oh, it looks so much different.
Yeah.
I was getting comments all weekend long. People are really worked up about the 72nd and L situation. So let me tell you the latest so you can plan accordingly. There you can see it's still busy work that's happening here on 72nd. And that's the reason why the road is still closed, even though we've got no bridge there anymore on L. That's completely down. Still some cleanup that has to happen, so 72nd still closed. However, you will also notice L Street is open. You've got traffic going head to head there on what used to be the entrance and exit ramps. That's how you're getting through that area. So you can use L. Just know that it's going to be slow if you do use that method to get east and west. But 72nd closed means you need to use 84th, 60th, 96th for your north-south travel. There's what I'm talking about with L Street, and you can see some of the delays. That's scheduled through next fall, so we've got quite a while where that head-to-head traffic will be happening. But had some people who were confused about this over the weekend. You can use L. It's just going to be slow. Can't use 72nd this morning. That's scheduled to be closed through tomorrow afternoon or evening. So 84th looking pretty good right now. Keep in mind you still have that construction around Harrison that you will contend with if you use that as your alternate route. Not the only update I have. Let's check in on 480. That ramp that had been closed at Harney to go to Douglas, that's now open. So you can use that this morning. You won't be able to turn onto Harney itself, but you can get onto Farnham. You can also get onto Douglas this morning. So great news for anyone traveling there. There's some nighttime work that'll still be happening around that new bridge at Harney. That starts tonight, and weather permitting will happen each night with some lane closures on 480. So plan accordingly for that. I want to give an update here on Dodge. Still pretty slow here, right around UNO, where we may have a crash that's in place, the way this is looking on the map. So plan accordingly. Might be some emergency crews on hand right in front of UNO. You need to watch for that if you use that method to make your way east and west. The other slow spot also on Dodge, where we usually see things slow down right around 144th to 168th for eastbound travelers. So plan accordingly for that. Most other roads moving along pretty well in the early going. We'll keep you posted, of course, through the morning.
Jared, thank you very much. There have been at least 21 military strikes on boats during President Trump's second term. In response to the strikes, Nebraska Congressman Don Bacon says the president should come to Congress for authorization before conducting any future strikes.
There is some sympathy in Congress to stop this. We lose 100,000 people a year, but he should come to Congress. And if he wants to do continued operations on these boats, should get authorization.
Well, last week, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth claimed the military has all the authority it needs to carry out those strikes, adding the Department of Defense has, in quote, lawyers upon lawyers working on it.
Happening today, the Durham Museum will set up its Christmas tree. It'll arrive at the museum between 10 and 11 o'clock this morning and will be set up between 11 and 1. This year celebrates the 50th year of this tradition.
All right, still ahead. This isn't your typical marathon. Doesn't even involve any running.
Yeah, more on that, plus what to know about Wicked for Good before you head to theaters when we come back.
This morning, it's like a marathon for knitters.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A group of knitters and crocheters held a 24-hour knit-a-thon in Philadelphia. The event was not only held for fun, but to raise money for a good cause. What's often a solitary pastime turned into a community-wide celebration.
That's fun.
So much yarn. All right. Happening this week, it is the much-awaited latest chapter of The Witches of Oz in the Emerald City.
Wicked for Good, based on the beloved Broadway show, based on the novel, is bringing Ariana Grande Sunday and Cynthia Erivo back together on the big screen. It's, of course, become a global sensation. At the London premiere, Wicked fans were blown away by the gleaming Emerald City. And the new tale, the unlikely friendship between Elphaba and Glinda, takes a twist, but the center of the story is full of heart.
I think the central narrative, which is that friendship between the two women, between us, I think it's the notion that feeling or being different isn't a bad thing.
Amen. And since teaming up on Wicked, Cynthia and Ariana have cemented a deep bond both on and off the screen. They're very good friends in real life. Wicked for Good is in theaters everywhere on Friday. Maria, have you bought your ticket yet?
Yeah,
me too.
I will actually be there Thursday night.
Awesome.
Yeah,
wow.
we gotta see it before the official premiere.
Are you coming to work Friday?
I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it. But I mean, I've been waiting for this since last year. Aaron, you too, I know.
Yep.
But it's crazy because I didn't think that. I had low expectations for the movie because the musical is so good and it means so much to me and so many other people. But they blew the movie out of the water, so I cannot wait to see what they do with the second part.
That's when, in the One Wonderful Day in Oz, the special that they had, they said that really a lot of the fans were actually very receptive to the movie, which sometimes in Broadway culture,
does not happen.
People can be very critical, especially if it's a very beloved tale of something, but this is done remarkably well.
They did amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Friday for a heavily caffeinated
Oh, yeah. I gotta also tell you, not spoil it for me. I gotta wait till Saturday. Okay.
I'll just give my vague thoughts.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Of course, you can watch that update here on streaming or over the air.
Have a great start to your Monday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Monday morning to you. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Aaron Hartley. Let's get an update on the roads this morning with Jerry Lansford.
One of our biggest problem spots that we have is on Dodge right in front of UNO, where we are seeing big slowing taking place, particularly westbound. Haven't confirmed this, but it certainly has the look of a crash being in place. So first alert to this, you want to be ready for some delays, perhaps some lane restrictions that are in place as you head through that stretch right in front of UNO. Of course, the other big thing is 72nd remaining closed this morning with the bridge demolition that took place. You'll need to use 84th, use 96. Those are moving along pretty well in the early going. You can use L, just head-to-head traffic through this area. That's a little bit slow at this point. Rusty.
Yeah, that'll get better and better through the course of the next couple of days. Satellite picture showing us a good amount of sunshine right now, but the clouds are moving in. That's going to be the story today. Increasing clouds this morning. Bring us shower chances late this morning and through the afternoon. You can see not great at any one point, but I think there's going to be some on the map. Little specks of green every now and then, and maybe even a couple of thunder showers this evening. Could have a couple of those after the sun sets. Southeast winds today, gusts near 30, 35 miles per hour possible later on this afternoon. So you'll notice the breeze. Increasing clouds, some showers. Yeah, the high similar to yesterday of 55, but it won't feel the same just because of all those other elements that I mentioned. We'll get to 55 by about 3 o'clock, but take the umbrella with you just to be safe. Aaron?
All right, OPD investigating a deadly hit and run near 26th and Douglas. Witnesses told police a 29-year-old man was walking in the middle of the road. 2 cars avoided hitting him, but a truck did not.
It is 7:28, and we are back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.
soundbite.
You know, if you ever look her up on like Wikipedia, her full name is super, super long. Super, super long. Like she did a podcast and someone's like, "Can you say your full name?" She's like, "Cynthia Arrivo." And they're like, "No, your full name." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
The whole
Super hard to pronounce.
thing.
It's crazy. A crazy thing about Wizard of Oz, Disney wants to buy that so bad.
Oh, I bet they do. Cash cow.
So badly, but they can't. They can't for many, many years.